Hey, and welcome back to the Embodying Your Truth course. Today is lesson 6, and we're going to be talking about affirmation. So, as you guys know, I'm a big proponent of affirmations, but today we're going to be taking it a little step further and talking about affirming who we are. And affirmations, spoken affirmations, is one of the ways, but we're going to be breaking it down and looking at other ways that we can affirm who we are. So, affirming who we are can happen in word, right? Spoken word, and word is a great way to do this because words carry frequency, they carry vibration, they have meaning. And when we say things like I am complete just the way I am, we're sending a vibration out, right? And we're cultivating this energy, right? The key in this work when we're using spoken affirmation is going to be to be present, right? Because if we don't have a relationship with our body and we're not present in the present moment and we're just saying, I am complete the way I am, it's like, okay, and then what? Right? So when we say that, I am complete just the way I am, I feel into my body, and the cells of my body just absorbed those words and they feel it, right? And then I get this kind of warmth. That's the difference between saying it and thinking it, right? Or feeling it and thinking it, is we have a relationship with our body prior to doing this work. So affirmations are, in my opinion, kind of futile without present moment awareness or having a relationship with your body. So, again, like the reason why I wrote this book, and this is my first ever book that I wrote, is because it's the foundation for all the work I do. Right? This is basically here, and then I'm going to build all of my infrastructure on top of this book because it's present moment awareness has changed my life. It's changed the life of all my clients for that exact reason, right? Because if we want to start to use all these tools and tricks in the world of spirituality and healing and self-development, they need to be accompanied with present moment awareness, or else they render themselves futile, in my opinion. So that's one aspect, okay? So words. The other one is actions. We affirm who we are through our actions. And in my opinion, we do this through self-care. When we're affirming who we are, we're caring for ourselves, right? When we're affirming we love somebody, like our partner or somebody, a friend, whatever it might be, we're affirming that by caring for them, right? We listen to them when they talk. We, might buy them gifts. We might spend quality time with them, right? Think about the 5 love languages. We know those are the things: acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, and whatever the hell the other one is. I can't remember right now, but right? So that's how we do that. We care. And when we're affirming who we are, we're caring for ourselves, right? We're practicing self-care. So again, we need to understand, when, like I said, from the book quote from lesson 5 was the difference between who we are and what we are, and what we are and who we are, right? Completely different. The energy that feeds the thoughts and feeds the feelings is who we are, and the thoughts and the feelings is what we are. We conceptualize ourselves through perceptions and beliefs and all that stuff, and we put that out into the world, and that's the what of Matt, right? That's what I put out into the world. That's not really who I am. Who I am can be felt in the feeling that you get when you feel my energy, right? That's completely a different experience. So what we want to do is we want to start to discern the difference between those two. We can care for ourselves in the aspects of what we are, right? We can also care for ourselves in the aspects of who we are. But we need to make sure that if we're really wanting to step into our authenticity, the who we are, caring for that aspect of ourselves and allowing that person to come forth and shine is going to be a big part of becoming more authentic and allowing us to embody our truth. So affirming that can be done by giving yourself space to be the person that you are in the expression that you want to show up in that moment, right? When we're caught up in the mind, we're caught up in our ego, it's okay, I have this box to which Matt can be based off of how the world perceives him, right? That's my self-concept. The world sees me as a coach, as a person who's positive, as all these things. But what happens when I'm not feeling positive? What happens when I'm not feeling like coaching? What happens when I just want to be sad and I want to not have it all together? Can I be that, right? And that's where we care for ourselves. We allow ourselves to be in the expression to which we find ourselves. And that's the truest form of authenticity, is allowing yourself and others to be in the expression that they find themselves, and not putting these expectations on people to show up for us in certain ways, because when we do that, it's just an extension of us putting that expectation on ourselves, right? You have to show up in the story of that I have of you in the way that I want you to show up, because I have to show up in the story that I have of myself, right? We treat the world how we feel that we're being treated by it. And that's the key to understand, that is that if we want to let go of that, we have to allow ourselves to be much more than our self-concept, and allow ourselves to be the energy that actually feeds our self-concept, which is the thoughts that we think about ourselves, right? So we can do that by affirming the energy of who we are, right? Which is what present moment awareness is all about, is connecting to the energy of who you are. So what I want to do is I want to share. So in my book, what I've done is I've kind of shared a whole bunch of, stories and different things about my journey, and some tips and tricks on how to understand consciousness and spirituality and present moment awareness. And then at the back, I've created a section called Affirming Your Practice. And basically it's all the skills and all the strategies that I've come across over the last 14 years that have helped me make my transformation into where I am today. And one of them is, so basically it's broken down into two main categories, which is mastering your mind and befriending your body. And we can't befriend our body until we've mastered our mind, because our mind, when we want to spend time with the body and we go down into our body, our mind becomes excessively chatty and it pulls us back out of the moment. And then we're in this tug of war between mind and body. And that becomes very, very frustrating. So we need to learn how to master the mind through a practice that I have been practicing for the last probably 10 years now, called one-pointed concentration. And I put my top strategies on how to do that in the book. But today we're going to be talking about befriending the body. So after you've mastered the mind, how can we befriend the body so we can spend more time in the body and essentially spend more time with us, the who of who we are. So I wrote this under befriending your body. This is the most important section when it comes to cultivating present moment awareness as we make the journey from head into heart. Befriending the body is all about giving the body space to be exactly as it is. We offer our undivided attention combined with unconditional love and acceptance for the state to which we find our body. The element of surrender must be present for you to befriend your body, because you can only befriend your body if you are able to accept it in the state to which you find it. Any resistance that arises is coming from the mind, and you have left the body and entered the mind. When this happens to me, I use the phrase, everything is fine just the way it is. And this allows me to let go of the mind trying to create perfection in something that needs to be imperfect. Befriending the body is about ebbing and flowing with the resistance that you find within and meeting it with acceptance. Always remember there is no destination with this work, because it is all about being present with the journey. So, and then I go on to kind of share a bunch of different examples that you can use, to exercises that you can do to befriend the body. And then at the back, I got some affirmations and some mantras that you can use. And really what this is it's a step-by-step process in how you can start to affirm who you are by making space for yourself to be, right? And one of the biggest preventions for affirming who we are is resistance to what we're not, right? And when we're caught up in that tug of war of who we're not and versus who we are, and affirming that, it becomes, again, this polar, right? The shadow and the light, and we're always in this tug of war between the two. So it's going to be important to understand the use of affirmations and the effectiveness of affirmations in doing this work, both in spoken word and in action. So basically, one last point I want to make here, I got it in my notes here. So the mind will only hold on to the affirmation until the next thought interrupts it. So I spoke about that in the last video, but I want to point that out, because we need to we need to understand when we're using affirmation in mind, they're not going to be effective. I promise you. It's going to feel like you're chasing, right? And that's the thing with self-acceptance too, self-love. When we're just saying these things that I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, and we're not feeling them, right? They won't work. So we need to ground ourselves. We need to find stillness, and this can be the hardest part of this work for people. I promise you. It's once you get past that though, it feels a lot lighter. But when to sit in stillness with ourselves can be so uncomfortable, but we need to if we want to do this work. It's essential to this work. So find time to sit, say the affirmations, and feel them. Say them slow, feel them, feel how your body changes when you say it, feel the energy in your body shift and move when you say it, and that'll allow them to integrate. That's what it's about. When we say them, but we don't allow the time and space for them to integrate, and the integration is the most important part of affirmation being effective. Okay, so skill to practice for today is going to be find stillness and feel into the vibration of who you are. Okay, so whether that be and for some people they might find it hard to just lay there in stillness because their mind will start to ramp up. So get some form of maybe guided meditation to help at first, or you can do the one-pointed concentration exercises. There's a bunch of different ones in my book that you can choose from, but just find ways to kind of settle down the mind, and it will be really effective for that. And then the affirmation is going to be a present moment awareness affirmation. So hand on heart, breathe, and say, I am here, here I am. I am here, here I am. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull you away from past, pull you away from future, and back into the present moment by reminding yourself that here I am, right? I'm here in this moment, and I'm ready to, do the work to move into a more authentic me. So practice those for today. Today's lesson 6. We got one more lesson. I'm looking forward to chatting about this when we talk about self-ownership. I love that topic. So have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you guys in the next lesson.